So have you decided if you want a full head colour, if you want to do half?
I think I'm gonna go full head. Okay. Yeah.
Hey Tribe, my guest came in today for a colour. Now, we had a consultation, but she is not my usual client. She actually goes to someone who's in the salon, one of the stylists who's been looking after her hair. As you can see, she's got beautiful long hair, and today she was going for a colour. Now, the thing about me is, even if you are a frequent flyer at the salon, I really need to know that I'm going to handle you with care and we are going to get off on the right foot, because after this appointment, she went back to her stylist and I just did her colour. So I had to know that what we were doing was going to be the thing that was going to keep making her happy. Because sometimes, you know, you're in the salon and you do a client's hair and they may be really happy in the salon, and then bam, you're the one that does their hair and you may never see them again because they were just not happy with that service. So I tried to make sure that even if you come to the salon and you have your particular stylist, if they happen to be on holiday or if you want to see me for a particular service, you go right back to your stylist happy. We decided to go for an all over colour. Now, as you can see, her hair was really, really long. I decided to go for a pre-lightener. It's not a popular choice, but it is a choice that sometimes is more gentle than using a full-blown colour. I use 7% vol for roughly about 5 minutes. 7% means that the hair lifts so slowly, almost as slowly as that of a permanent color, which is, i.e., a high lift color, depending on what you call it where you come from. So I was really careful. I applied it all over, first on the ends, then on the roots. Now you're seeing this sped up, but this did not take a long time. I did the section in probably like 8 minutes and then I rinsed it off very, very quickly. Now this is probably the equivalent of having a 20 volt color or a 20 volt color for 35 minutes. So we just cut out some time. And I wanted to mention that because I know a lot of people, when they see bleach, they're like, oh my God, you're ruining her hair. You could have gone about it a better way. Do you know what? Probably. I could have gone about it a different way. It's not always the better way. When hair is healthy, you can play. It doesn't mean you can be violent, but it does mean you can play. Once her hair was colored all over, you can see the base color has lifted. It's a beautiful sort of bronzy, warm brown. Lovely, love it. She also wanted some money pieces at the front, and she wanted a few highlights throughout her hair. Now, when I do a color like this, which is all over, I want to make sure that this first stage is great. So what I did is I semi-dried the hair and just showed her, because sometimes when the hair is wet, you think it's the tone that you want it to be, but it might not be. So getting the client to come to the front of the salon, see it in the daylight, see if it matches what they wanted in the first place. Once that is okayed, then we go back and continue with the service. Once we did her highlights, which I didn't film, sorry. Once that was all done, you can see that her hair and her curls are still intact. I do believe she has a texture release, but I'm not too sure. I'll check back on my notes. But you can see that the curls are still intact. And that's one thing about me, and one thing about the salon. I like for the integrity of the hair to remain as close to what it was prior to any chemical service. And I say it's close because sometimes clients like to be a straight natural, but what I want to see is if you straighten your hair, it stays straight, but if you want your hair to go back to its curly state, it also goes back to its curly state. A lot of the time, clients sometimes do things at home like use oils, and then they just ruin their hair. But with the right technique and the right products and the right everything, your hair will remain the same. It may be elongated, which is perfectly fine if you choose to be a straight natural, but if you add layers to it and chemical service on top, such as color, sometimes that does elongate your hair even more. So you need to be extra careful, which is why I always talk about K18, Olaplex. You want to use those products. You want to use products that have bond repair in them, because they try to keep your hair as close to what it was in its natural state before you did anything, whilst also being able to play, you know?